Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Tech Developer. If you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon. And if you are already a subscriber, I really thanks and appreciate that my videos are helping you and you are watching my videos. So first of all guys, a very happy new year to all everyone, even the new subscribers or the new viewers or the older ones. And this is the first video of this year, so please support me in my channel and my YouTube journey throughout the year so that we can learn a lot and we can share the knowledge with each other, right? So guys, if you were following my tutorials for the Elasticsearch, in my last video we have covered that how we are doing the implementation of add poetry API for the service layer, right? And even we tested that API, and the API was able to means return the data successfully or save the data successfully, and we checked the Elasticsearch also, and the data was available there in the indexes, right? So similarly, the we will be going to use the get API, right? So get API I am using first because suppose in the last video if you are watching, right, you watched that my last video. In that last video we checked the data using the Elasticsearch, but now we will check that data using the particular get API, right? So let's open that. First go to the poetry rest controller. There will be the get API, this one, which is returning me the list of poetry DTO, right? So go to the service implementation of that, right? And here we are using return null, right? So we already have a repository over here. Just use same repository dot find all, do find all, right? And what it will do, it will give us the list of that particular or list, or you can say the collection of the poetry, not the poetry DTO, because poetry repository is extending the Elasticsearch repository for that particular document poetry. So all the document collection will comes up over here, right? After that we will stream over it, or sorry, it is means first we have to use it to the list, right? So or you can see simply use the for each, or you can do it first convert it to the list, right? So we can simply do the for each, right? So what we can do is over here let's create the list of the poetry DTO. Sorry, sorry, very sorry guys, I'm using the wrong method to implement. It is actually here. So yeah, so list of the poetry DTO, right? So first I'm creating the list. So list poetry DTO list. Let me give the name to the variable poetry DTO list is equals to new array list, right? And for each, inside the for each, what it will do, it is actually the poetry object, the poetry document object. What we will do here is poetry list DTO list dot add new poetry DTO, right? New poetry DTO. Inside the DTO, what actually the poetry DTO is? It is a record. So ID, title, description, type, image, and creation type. So let's put the data similarly. First will be the ID. So poetry dot get ID. Then another thing is the title or something. Let me check in the poetry repository. Oh, sorry, the poetry DTO. So next is title, then description. Next is title, right? So we will do poetry dot get title, and similarly third one is description. So poetry dot get description, right? So after that the fourth argument is type, then image, and then creation time. Type. Now let's use the type. So poetry dot get type. So type poetry dot get type poetry dot get type, and here the next will be poetry dot get image, right? And after that poetry dot get creation timestamp dot to string, or format you can use date formatter, the date time formatter dot basic ISO date you can use, or ISO date time you can use, ISO local date time you can use. So each and every thing is have their own different way of defining the uh, time, right? So it is just a pattern, or you can use the custom pattern also using the off pattern method, right? So what I am doing currently is I am using the basic ISO date, not the ISO date is this, and this ISO date time now. ISO date. Okay. So okay. So this one is date. So there would be the local date time. Yes. So this one I am using the ISO local date time, right? So that it will give the date and time both. So this will be the format, and in which it will be get formatted. And now we have created the list now, right? We created the object of poetry DTO, and we iterated that with find all method, right? Which is means that find all is returning us the collection of poetry document, right? And here using the new poetry DTO, what we are doing is on each poetry document we are converting or mapping that to the poetry DTO, and we are simply adding that object into this poetry DTO list, right? So यहाँ तक हमने जो है पोएट्री रिपोजिटरी डॉट फाइंड ऑल करके आइट्रेट करके उसका पोएट्री डीटीओ का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया, मैप करके, और उसको एक लिस्ट में डाल दिया। अभी सिंपली अपने को सिर्फ रिटर्न करना है क्या, एपीआई रिस्पॉन्स जीटीओ, जैसे हमने पहले रिटर्न किया था। बस पहले हमने क्या था, नल रिटर्न किया था, क्योंकि एपीआई रिस्पॉन्स जीटीओ का टाइप जो था वो वॉइड था। ठीक है, तो अभी जो अपना टाइप आएगा वो लिस्ट ऑफ पोएट्री डीटीओ लिस्ट आ जाएगा, मतलब ये पोएट्री डीटीओ आ जाएगा। तो पोएट्री डीटीओ लिस्ट का ऑब्जेक्ट मैंने डाल दिया, ठीक है। और उसके बाद पोएट्रीज, वन सेकेंड, ट्रीज फैच्ड सक्सेसफुली, राइट। ये मैसेज दे दिया, क्रिएटेड की जगह हम मैसेज देंगे ओके का, स्टेटस ओके हो गया, और ये एपीआई सक्सेस है ट्रू, और जो टाइम स्टैम्प रिटर्न होगा एपीआई रिस्पॉन्स का वो ये हो गया, सिस्टम डॉट करंट मिली सेकेंड, ठीक है। तो नाउ द एपीआई इज implementation of service for the get API of the poetry is completed. Let's check this API and see what the output is coming. And if any exception is coming, we will handle that exception, or we will fix that particular exception that will be comes up. But let's run that. Okay, so right click on the application and run that as a Spring Boot application, because Elasticsearch and Kibana I already started it earlier over here. This is the Elasticsearch and this is Kibana basically. So Elasticsearch and Kibana both are up. So basically the thing is that uh, it will be connected to Elasticsearch database. So our application is up. Let me check this API, right? So what we will do, we will open our Postman collection. Here the API was there for the poetry to create, that means add poetry. Now let me add the endpoint for get poetry, right? So let me copy the same URL, because that is a base path, and that will be the get API, right? If you want to see over here, you can see here that in the poetry REST controller The base path is API slash u1 slash poetry, and it is a get mapping to get all. So there is nothing else. It is just simply the base path we are passing, and it will work. And the method is get, right? So let's send the request and see the output. Hmm. So it is giving us the exception, that what it is saying, that unable to convert this particular date to the local date time property creation timestamp. So let me check, either the timestamp that we were saving earlier, was that in the I mean date, or it is just the with the time. Let me double check it because I'm not sure, guys. So let me check. Okay. So basically, the time that we were saving was date. I was not remembering of that. Let me double check it, guys. Poetry document. And yes, sorry, guys, we were saving the date actually. So in that, only the date part is going to save. So it is our mistake. Let me fix this. So it will be only the ISO date, in which only the date will come, that particular date on which the poetry was added successfully, right? So let's wait, and now the server is get restarted. Now let me re-hit the API. Again it is saying that, why it is happening, let me check. Unable to convert to local date time. हो अब वही प्रॉब्लम है कि डेट वहाँ पर सेव हो रही है, राइट? और जब ये कन्वर्ट करने के लिए आ रहा है तो वो लोकल डेट टाइम में जा नहीं रहा। ओके। सो गाइस, क्रिएशन के टाइम पे हमसे कुछ मिस्टेक हुई है। तो अभी के लिए हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं कि पोइट्री क्रिएशन टाइम स्टैम्प जब ये मैप नहीं होगा, तो हम इसके लिए ये कर सकते हैं कि अनेबल टू कन्वर्ट दिस। लेट मी डू समथिंग, लेट मी फर्स्ट close this and will let me use the poetry. Let me change it to local date, as because we are using the date only, that when on which date it was get created, right? So it will also be the local date, right? So now I think it should be up. Let me restart the application. Let me try it now, guys. Yes, so now the API returned successfully the data. The two poetries were created earlier, the type 1 and type 2, right? So sorry for the mistake, guys. So when we were creating the index, so at that time I missed to check that we were saving the date only, and we uh, change that return type to the local date time. So instead of that, I just change the return type over here, that is local date, that on which date it was created, right? So now the issue is fixed. So it will be, if you check the API, it is returning the response, right? So let me give you the review of this one, that let me search that data in the Elasticsearch side, right? In the using the Kibana. So you can see here that particular ID, we are over here, this one, and the data for that is title one is this, description one, image one, type one. It was created at this time, that is 24/12/2023. So you can see that output is same. And similarly for this one, this is a second poetry, the title 2, description 2, image 2, type 2, and it was created on same date, right? So you can see that API is working fine. Let me rename this API name, that is get poetries, right? So let's check it by adding it another detail or another poetry, so that we can check if we are adding the new poetry, then the data is coming to us or not. So I'm using that older add API. Let me add some poetry for that. Let me add it. Okay. So no enum constant, right? Because type 3 is not there. Earlier the mistake was what I say, the mistake was checked by Kashish, our subscriber, who has given the comment us that we missed one thing in the poetry type. That was that in the poetry type, the we were passing the enum, right? If I show you the poetry, so here we were passing the string type. That is, the poetry type is in the string format. But if you remember, we earlier created the poetry types enum, in which we were defining that which type of poetry we are going to define, right? Love, nature, life, and miscellaneous, right? So that type of poetry, now I changed that code. So to poetry types dot value of that poetry type means we are getting the enum from that particular string type poetry that we are passing over here, and if it is matching, then we are getting that name. So if you see the exception over here, it is saying that no enum constant is available for this poetry type, right? The poetry type that we are passing, type 3, no enum constant is available here, right? No enum constant for type 3, right? So now what we will do, what I do is here, let do not remove the old records. We will remove that later on. But now let me give the type to the love, right? So let me restart the application. So now send the request and it will be created successfully. Yes, the poetry submitted successfully, right? So our title 3 poetry was saved. Let me check that using the get poetry API. That API is returning me or not. Yes, it is returning me the third API, the third poetry that we added, title 3, description 3, type love, image 3, right? And it was added by 6th of January 2024, right? So guys, you can see here that we did some mistakes earlier, that we missed the part of the enums, and now, and also this one, the local date, we were saving, but we were returning mapping it to the local date time. So I fixed those issues in this particular video. So thanks for watching my video, guys, and bye for now. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get the latest notification of the video. And sorry for the mistake, guys. Sometime I missed some details to add in the video, so sorry for that. Bye for now. Take care.